Hey everyone, how you doing today? Topic number 3 with Dana from Hemlane is how to use Hemlane to communicate with your tenants. I look forward to this because again, communication is important, but documentation is even more important. So Dana, I'm going to turn it over to you. Let's see how you can use Hemlane to communicate with your tenants.
Great. Thanks, Michael. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. And the most important thing that Michael mentioned was communication, over communication, right? So what you can see here is you can have your LLC's name up here or anything else where you're communicating as a managing member of the LLC. Gives it a much more professional feel. With it, one of the things I think is important is making sure that the communication goes to the tenant how they want it communicated. So while we're tracking opens, have they opened it? When did they open it? Did they click through on the email? From your perspective, you want to make sure they get it how they want. It's both the text message as well as an email. Tenants can either click just stop, like opt out, or when they're in the portal and they first register, they can opt out of it. So if you have multiple tenants, you could just basically go through and click this messages and just copy and paste something here, like with warmer temperatures and all this snow. Up to this point, please do these things. Send. That would send out to all of your tenants. Oh, nice. Quick notice, right? To let them know, give them a friendly reminder of what to be doing.
And again, just to be clear, Dana, that's all tenants, not all tenants at a property, but that is all tenants that you have in this case in that LLC.
Exactly. But I could say just for this is maybe a single family home. I could choose that, or I could choose the 12 unit here, or I could go to the tenant level. Yeah. And so you could just say all. Now, if they respond, it only goes to you, right? It's not going to be like mass. It's not like an email.
not a reply all.
Yeah, think of this as a BCC. Essentially, when they respond, it only responds to you if you think about it as an email. The other thing I would say about communication is documentation. And so having everything, the lease available for the tenant to review at any time, and everything else, your inspections you've had, everything in there. Over communication is super important. So we spoke about earlier lease violations, right? If there's a lease violation, document that, upload that in here as well. Make sure that you have everything in one spot for the tenants to view. Make it easy for them, right? If they want to remember what the lease says because they're thinking about purchasing a home and they want to get out of the lease, make sure they have the lease document there to see what the early termination fee is. You don't want any surprises for them on that. So that's a quick overview here. You can also go directly into the messages with tenants, like this tenant is wondering who would be able to assist with a lost mailbox key. All of that's in here. We also have communications at the maintenance and repair level. We've gone through that before, but within each request, what's been done, logging the timeline, making sure that tenants can see that you're really on top of it. And then the ones I think are the most important to communicate with very quickly and have kind of a lead flow or tenants who are going to be moving into your property. So applicants and leads. So I might say to them, send a message to anyone. I can just select a property here. I can say anyone who is not scheduled a showing and say, I'm having a showing. I'm having a showing this Saturday at 3 p.m. Please let me know if you can make it, right? Yep. And you can go ahead and press send. The great thing about that is that goes out to all of them. They can respond and you're not having to message each one individually. And then you can go in and message them all. You could put private notes in here as well, private notes, and then also message them. So it's really important as you go through the process, everything from finding and placing tenants to having your tenants in the property, to have everything documented in there. And if anything gets emotional, to your point, refer back to the lease document. Don't say, I can't believe you were so loud. How rude for you to do that to your neighbors. Instead, say, county ordinances say that there can't be noise above this decibel after 10 p.m. We understand that from the neighbors, the decibels were above that. And this is a violation of the county regulations, right? That is a much better way to put it in of like, it's not me who's upset about this. I'm just trying to follow the law. So it's really important to have all of that in your communications and within the systems
Yeah, what
as
I would
well.
tell you there is just kind of echo that is what you're seeing here is a way to effectively communicate and document, but please remove emotions because once it's documented, it's there.
Mhm.
And you may need to use this. I said in episode number 2, I think it was about, or no, number 1, you're building a file. I assume I'm building a file for
Yeah.
evictions every time. Most of the times it works out, right? They go, oh, sorry, I had a party for my kid's birthday. We didn't know where to park the car, so we moved it for the bounce house or, whatever. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, just remember, really remove emotion if you can from these communications. I strongly recommend.
Yep, absolutely. And with that, with the tenant responses, another thing I would say, and this goes down to the point of self-management versus property managers. There's no right answer, right? Like it's really up to you, and people will have completely different opinions of which way they want to go. But the most important thing is if a tenant has a question, make sure you respond to it, right? Make sure you respond quickly. Our system will remind you of that, but you do want to make sure that with it, you are showing them you're on top of it and you care about them. The worst thing for them is to have to follow up 3 times about a lease renewal.
Yeah.
That doesn't make it look like you're on top of it. The other thing that I'll leave you with on the Hemlane communication is a lot of it's automated as well. Rent reminders, reminding them how much is due, when it's due, do they have automatic payments set up? A lot of anything that we can help automate and streamline for you, we'll definitely put into the process for you. And then anything that's lease specific, a question that the tenant has, will go directly to you.
Yeah, this is very cool. Folks, I got to tell you, if you are thinking about becoming a landlord, or maybe you're a landlord with a couple of units out of state, anything, you need to do yourself a favor. One, you need to go try the 30-day trial on Hemlane. Go try it out. Put in some of your properties, put in your deals, feel what it feels like to be a landlord. See if self-management or property management is the right for you. Use the trial. Then if you decide to become a Hemlane customer, make sure you use the coupon code ZUBER, ZUBER. It'll get you 20% off the first year. Any closing thoughts, Dana?
I don't think so. But if people do have questions about communications and when we send them, feel free to reach out to us. Happy to answer all of those.
Very cool. Thank you very much. And I look forward to our communication next week or 2 weeks.